like a Manet painting, naked and white.
Still held to the sun, still climbing, still radiant.
Survived the weather. She's an internationally renowned poet, playwright, actor, activist, producer, and CEO of More Black Press. It just began. The introduction just began. She has performed throughout the United States, South Africa, and Europe. Her Broadway performances include playing at places like Carnegie Hall, the Apollo Theater, London's Institute of Contemporary Arts, Lincoln Center, and more. Her current project is called The Missing Project, Pieces of D. It is a storytelling live art music show with experimental jazz orchestra and graffiti art. She has a 4-year-old son at home called King Thomas that she left there to come rock out for y'all. So you better be supportive. God is not an American. Poetry, Politics, and More is her book. Help her make her way home, getting a plane ticket, buy the book. But for the next half hour, 45 minutes or so, however long she wants to rock out, we are going to give her a lot of energy. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage, Jessica Care.
Thank you. So wow, you are good at intro. Like everybody can do them that good. Like I done hosted some shit, so I know where the people are whack. You're good. Okay. I don't do poetry spots. I don't do open mic spots really anymore because I have to actually pay my rent. But I wanted to do Mike's place because I pay attention. I'm online and I saw the caliber of people he was bringing, and he was bringing people like Willie Perdomo and Patricia Smith, and I was like, oh well, Patricia up in there, you know. Oh, Willie just left. I was like, I'm about to roll up in where the inspired word at. And so really happy to share the stage with my good friend. I mean, me and Tyron go back to like 1995. I'm definitely a Brooklyn Moon Cafe baby, you know. We're products of Brooklyn Moon, Patrick Coker over there, and then Goma's here. You know, those you know, 452. You know, these are like old friends and who've all kind of done all kinds of beautiful things since leaving Brooklyn. And back in the 90s, and so, and also a New Yorican baby, so happy to be back home. So I'm gonna read some poems, and I printed out this new stuff I wanted to do, and then the stupid Kinko's guy didn't have it. I'm not like these young kids who can read out the phone. I cannot do that shit. I'm gonna try maybe, because I really wanted to read this piece for Haiti, but in the meantime, I'm gonna
Please do.
Yeah, so if I'm messing it up, oh well, I'm just gonna try. My eyes I'm grown as hell. So I think I need to go backwards, and so I'm gonna read from my third book, more than any other book tonight. But I wanna go back to this one because I wrote this when I was in Atlanta, but I just left Brooklyn and Harlem, where I lived here for 5 years in New York City, left my life here. I'm a gypsy, I move a lot. I'm living in Detroit, back home again after 12 years of being gone. So this is called Move, and it's a really old poem, and but I think that it's really dedicated to my friends from my Brooklyn days here, and those of you who've been in that scene, or Gina, like people who've been around, y'all know who I'm talking about. So I'm a Detroiter twice removed. So when I go home, I'm searching for childhood memories in a place that didn't raise me. Brooklyn, full of love and secrets, poetry and piss smells. This is where I found Medina, Vandelli, Simmons, where I fell in love with you and you and you and finally you. When I met my future son, my world was so full of light. I chased down writers I read in the New Yorican poetry anthology aloud. Beatty, Perdomo, Morris, Powell. In the tradition of most hustlers, I lied my way into the public theater to find Reggie. And what have I gained? A lifetime of metaphors under one moon on a hot Friday night. It's all good. I remember the space flowers so powerful, just one word from Wood. And moms would walk me home. Shh, don't tell anyone. Tyron was the tallest, so I had to say hello. Dante DJ made the audience sing love songs, reminding us that Fort Greene wasn't always so damn pretty and French and trendy. Wrapped in imported fabrics, now chameleons, we are blending with the rest. Record deals, book releases, some left in search of inner pieces. Poets, because we breathe, not because of how many books we read. Still study and skill is how we bleed, so I hope I confuse you into understanding. I'm not talking over your head, you just don't want to stand up. I walk on the line my last granddaddy drew, stretching while balancing drunk press politics as the toilet talked back to Tish. On Sunday nights we used to wish that we were all the new literary greats, and Brad showed up to show us how to sweat and party, because if the poems don't work, black folks can always dance away the pain, or burn a Badu incense to change the smell of all the times our trip is in Brooklyn where I truly fail. Still I'm moving, because in New York, words get stuck and slide beneath the surface of smiles. In Manhattan, you can walk for miles and no one will say hi. Butterflies and pretty boys will tell you lies, and brownstones become cocoons where I wait for my slumlord before releasing 77 hot water balloons. Pretty soon I'll be bored. Run out of inspiration, so now I move down south. A scorpion woman glowing in the dark, make your mark, make music, make so many wonderful mistakes, so you can write, grow, become new you. Born inside Alabama, red clay, a dirty city girl, turned southern diva, an East Coast arrival, practicing sitting on the porch and voice survival. Married to a poet, making love, making life something I live instead of something I'm writing about or searching for inside beautiful lines of fiction. I no longer search for people I want to be. I've decided to become her. Scrape my stories from the side of my own tongue. Unafraid to taste fear. I'm concerned about who takes me seriously, because the Sean Watts in Jacksonville, Florida says I saved her life because she heard a black girl voice inside a poem I wrote on Showtime at the Apollo, because she thought she was alone and she would save the world with just an ounce of her passion and honesty. And she has never read a Miri, but she is a Miri. And she has never shared a joke with Intozaki, but she is a woman in red and blue and yellow, and she is saving me from the blow up the spot with weirdos and academic player haters who deserve each other. Today I return wearing red leather high hooker boots, walking down Woodward Avenue, downtown Detroit, Archer Circuit 2015, teasing all the black folks across 8 Mile to come back home, come back home. Today I'm one of those bad daughters betraying their mothers by loving their fathers. Today I'm an object that burns. It's here I fall in love with you and me and me and me and finally me. So this is from Mike Vick. And I lived in Atlanta. I left New York in 2000. I got married and moved to Atlanta. And got hitched and left. And yeah, it's cool. And I get married. I do that. People who know me. I do marry. I do weddings. My weddings are fantastic. Yes, anyway, moving on. Mike Vick. So Mike Vick, y'all know Mike Vick, right? Yeah. Y'all know sports, right? So right, hello, Mike Vick, right? He was in Atlanta, he was in Atlanta. He was a Falcon when I was there. And I loved him because of the way he ran like Barry Sanders. And so I didn't know, like, he's really short, and anyone who knows me, I don't really date under 6 feet. But, so I didn't really notice him. I'm at the airport, he's like getting on his plane, I'm getting on the plane, and he's like right there next to me. He's like really right there next to me. So I'm not looking at him. I'm like, I don't know who that dude is, but he's not, I would never date him. So I just didn't pay him any attention, and then I realized, he was taking too long, and I just asked the Delta agent if she could check me into the flight, because he was like having people carry his shoes in, and he was on crutches. It was all this drama. I was like, I want to catch my flight. Like, and he just, and so my husband, my second husband, I think that was a Kenyatta at that time. And it'd be happening like that. So he said to me, Jessica, you don't know who that is. I said, he said, that's Mike Vick. And I was like, I still was like, so what? But right after that happened, the pit bull controversy happened. And so I wrote this because I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat animals. But I like brothers more than pit bulls, and I just do. Say black men down with pit bulls. No, I'm kidding. I had to wait. If I had to put them on a scale, like, they would win. And so, and just for me, the media attention that was given to Mike Vick, he was crucified. I was in Atlanta when they were trying to destroy his career, and I'm really glad he's back to playing football again. One of Janet Jackson's tits stopped America from the luxury of their pork and beer and family hour of football on primetime television. One quick glimpse of this natural dark phenomenon shook the fat white beer belly and right wing like a juicy piece of barbecue, dripping like blood, covering the carpets of America sacred. One brown breast exposed for 2 seconds is a sin in this home of Puritans and pilgrims, or we are forced to watch and smell them, bloated, pierced, hairy, funky beer bellies of men who have 5 tits to R2, sweating profusely as they scream with their favorite football team, shoving Cheetos down their throats, acting as if their children really give a damn who wins. Football is an outside sport. When's the last time any of you went outside and threw the pigskin, played under the sun and the stars? It's a violent game that paralyzes, excites the gladiator in us. All this Super Bowl attention to a single black quarterback and the fighting of pit bulls, but what about the abused wives of players? What is the fine for beating your wife after a bad loss? Are we ready to rumble? Young man rumble. They rape women, they rape dogs. We live in a country that used to muzzle African women and rape them like wild animals. Fight and slay shackled African men gladiator style. And Michael Vick is the villain? Let's be clear, I am an animal lover. I cried when I had to leave my dog Crystal behind. My mother left my daddy. He was a mutt and crazy as hell. Nobody wanted to fight Crystal. He was part poodle and dug up the damn yard like a hound dog. But around the block, we knew some fools who would fight the pit bulls, and we weren't allowed to go over there. It was a part of the culture of my neighborhood. Dog fighting, chicken fighting, slave fighting, violent contact sports, boxing, football, hockey, American as apple pie. You can lose your legs, your game, your teeth, your life, your legs, your game, your teeth, your life, your career, especially if you're talented, fast quarterback, and black in the NFL. Thank you, though. I only got a certain amount of time, but I'm gonna get some poems. Okay, I'm gonna pass out. Okay, so I think I realized after I wrote this book, I have a lot of dedication pieces in here, and I didn't realize it until after the fact. So, do you guys know who Seiku Sundiata is? Yeah. That's fantastic. So Seiku, before, you know, of course Seiku passed away, and before he went into a coma, he was actually on his way to Atlanta, where I was living for the National Black Arts Festival, and I was scheduled to do an intergenerational talk with him. You know how you meet your elders along the way and you like get to know them? So we've gotten to know Sonia, we've gotten to know, you know, Mr. Nabi and Haki, but Seiku was one of those kind of ones that I just wanted him to know me so bad. I was like, okay, he's met me, but he doesn't know me, so this is my big moment. And then I got the call that, you know, he had gotten sick and wasn't going to make the trip, and then he ended up passing, and I ended up, instead of doing a talk with him, organizing a tribute piece to him at the festival. And so this is a piece that I wrote for Seiku Sundiata, because in Atlanta especially, like New York, you guys are very spoiled. I didn't realize that, because coming from Detroit and coming here and being, you know, brand new from the D, I got to be around all these writers that didn't come through Detroit in the same way. So in Atlanta, they really didn't know who Seiku Sundiata was. So those young poets really needed him to come there so they could see who, you know, and feel him and his energy and who he brought to that world. And so this is for Seiku. I was hoping to ask you, where do you see the 51st dream state? I wonder if you are there now. Are we free there? Is it a physical place? It is a spiritual space. Are there Afro-Caribbean drums playing? Would you please leave us the roadmap? These, us young poets, are lost. We are playing Scrabble with no direction, no dictionary, no history, no respect. We want a double word slam score with no skills, real letters. That's why I'm so bored with this game. No, this gift. Would you run for president with Barack as your running mate? That would be a beautiful poster. Do they finally understand that we are the dream, Seiku? How do we thank you for your songs, for thinking outside the box, for your grace, your Kwame Ture voice, your John Coltrane smooth rhythms? You reminded us of our daddies and long Cadillacs and 125th Street vendors, slick hats and goatee gangsters. Teach us how to do it, Seiku. Amen. He was fine. With ease, with tall black man style. Show them how to dress for the poem. Conjure the ancestors by simply waking up and not just in the morning. How to love with a heart of glass, with a stolen heart, a middle passage heart, Kazi's heart, his wife. A heart that beats to miles and writes with the memories we aren't supposed to remember. Teach us how to love with a heart of brick, a house of pain, and shoes not easy to fill. Seiku, so full of black stories. By the way, this peculiar institution with griot tongue and emancipated language. Atlanta needed you more than any place in Europe that would put up your photo on the side of a bus or large billboards and be able to deconstruct your work or have heady discussions about your life work, your philanthropy, your performances. We needed you so we could be better. We could better understand who we are. We need more therapy for the schizophrenia, the slavery, the self-hate. Because we are all from the South at some point. No DNA test necessary. And you represent the continuum of our roots, our passion, our secrets, our survivals, our bloodline. I was going to tell you that some of us knew you as the superhero Lane professor with a double life. A poet who translated our existence by night. The brilliance of your sound, the urgency of your message, the importance of your existence, the love in your heart, the respect for your craft will live on. Inside the breath wind of Harlem children, on the tide of every boat you have blessed, every student you have touched, we will continue to live inside the blue oneness of the dream you always dreamt for us. I was going to ask you about all of this, so now I have. I can't wait to hear your answers.